All right. Hey everyone. Topic of this video is going to be discussing the PlayStation 6 and like basically digital only consoles and what I think no one is really saying about this. So let's go ahead and get into it. So obviously Sony, they've already confirmed it. At least they're confirming right now. Physical media is dead by 2028. But here's the question nobody's asking loud enough. What does that mean for the next console? The PS6 isn't just going to support digital games. It's going to be built around forcing you into their store. No disk drive, no used games, no competition. Basically just you, a $700 console, and a digital monopoly. And before you say, just buy the disk drive attachment, let me go and stop right there. Because that's exactly what they want you to think. Let's break down exactly how Sony is going to play this and why it's much worse than you think. This is the PS6 prediction you didn't ask for but absolutely need to hear. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, first of all, the playbook and history repeating itself. Let's wind the clocks back a little bit. With the PS5 launch, Sony sold a digital-only edition for $100 less. Everyone thought, oh cool, an option for budget gamers. Nice, right? Wrong. That right there was the test. They wanted to see how many people would buy a console with no disk drive. And guess what? The digital edition sold crazy if I'm correct. Now, fast forward, the PS5 Pro launched with no disk drive at all. Even the $700 model, you had to buy a separate attachment. The disk drive, you had to buy that separately for $80. That wasn't a design choice. That was a data collection experiment. They were measuring your tolerance. And now the PS6 will almost certainly launch with no disk drive as standard. None. Zero. Nada. And here's the genius move. They'll spin it as saving the environment, or a sleeker design, or future proofing. But honestly, let's be real. This isn't about sustainability. This is it's about control. Whether there's no disk drive in the box, you have no choice but to buy digital. And when you buy digital, you buy from them. No retailers, no used market, no price competition, just Sony's store, Sony's prices, and Sony's rules. That's basically what they want. It's basically like a big, massive, wet dream for them. All right, getting into the disk drive attachment trap. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but they'll sell a disk drive attachment, right? Just, buy that. Oh, you sweet summer child. Let me paint you a picture. The PS6, launches for $599 or however much it'll cost. I think there's rumors saying like it might cost $1,000, which if it does, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. But it launches for whatever price it is. No disk drive. But wait, only for $99 more, you can buy the legacy disk drive attachment. Sounds reasonable, right? Except here's the catch. It's not going to be a simple plug-and-play USB thing. It'll be proprietary. Oh my God, bro. It'll probably require a firmware update. And it'll only work for certain models. And it'll be out of stock for the first 8 months because Sony's underestimated demand. And even if you buy one, guess what? It's going to be a hassle. You're going to need to connect it via a dedicated port. It's going to look ugly on your entertainment center. And 2 years into the console's life cycle, they'll quietly stop manufacturing them. Because why would they keep making a product that lets you bypass their store? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense in that word. This isn't a conspiracy. This is a business. Sony makes roughly 30% profit on every digital game sold. On physical games, they make maybe 10% after manufacturing, shipping, retail cuts, and used market losses. The math is simple. They don't want you to buy discs. They just want you to think you have a choice. All right, getting into the price monopoly of this. All right, let's obviously talk about the elephant in the room, the prices. Right now, when a game launches at $70, you can shop around. You've got, Walmart may have it for $65. Target, they may have it on sale. Best Buy might give you a $10 gift card. You can even buy it used on eBay for $50 a month later. Or, you might have Amazon Prime or whatever. You might be able to get it cheaper on Amazon somehow, some way. Now, imagine this. The PS6 launches. You go to the PlayStation Store. God of War 6 or whatever it's called is $80. No sales, no discounts for 6 months, no used copies, no borrowing from a friend. You want it? You want it right then, right? You want it right then and there? You pay $80. End of story. And don't tell me, Steam does this and PC games are fine. In that sense, Steam has competition. They have Epic, they have GOG, they have Humble, they got Green Man Gaming. And in case you don't know, on the GOG, GOG, it stands for Good Old Games. That's another PC storefront and everything. In case you don't know, if you buy from GOG, you actually do, own your games and everything. You can, just putting that out there and stuff. They all sell keys and stuff. On PlayStation, there's one store, one, and they control every single price. When physical media dies, that monopoly becomes, ironclad. There's no retailer to undercut them. There's no used market to drive prices down. Just you and Sony, staring at each other across the digital counter where they've set every single rule. And you know what happens when a company has no competition. Prices go up and they don't come back now. That's basically what's happening right now. Sony is, in terms of competition and everything, Sony is winning. Microsoft is not really doing anything right now. That's why people are rooting for and then Nintendo. I think Nintendo's doing their own thing. They're still somewhat doing physical media with some of those game cards. Not all those game cards have the entire game on the card and everything, but it's still better than nothing. But mostly it's a battle between Sony and Microsoft of the big three and everything. That's why people want Xbox to come back, announce they're still doing physical media and stuff, despite what Sony has announced. I think 3 or so weeks ago. For now, as I'm recording this video and everything, they want Microsoft to come back, lock in, and hit Sony where it hurts, because Sony desperately needs the competition right now, because they are acting absolutely horrible. Their behavior is disgusting. They're being really, really arrogant. They're being really, really anti-consumer and everything. They're being really aggressive with what they're trying to push on us gamers. This is why competition is important, because when we don't have competition, then us, the consumers, we all end up suffering because of that. All right, getting into the backwards compatibility lie. Here's another thing that Sony isn't telling you. They love to brag about backwards compatibility. Oh, the PS6 will play your PS4 and PS5 digital games. Great, but what about your physical PS4 and PS5 games? The ones you actually own on discs? Sony will say, just download the digital version if you have the disc. But here's the problem. Not every game will be available digitally forever. Licenses expire. Licenses expire, I'm sorry. Remasters replace originals. Delisted games vanish. If you have a physical copy of a niche PS5 game that never got a digital re-release, you're out of luck. Your disc is basically a coaster. This is why it's kind of important to, if there's a specific version of a game that you want to try and get on a digital storefront, you want to make sure you buy it and everything, so it's like attached to your account and stuff, so you can have it preserved or whatever. An example of this, and for me personally, I bought a on the PlayStation Store. I bought the original PS4. What was it like? I think it was like obviously it wasn't a remaster. I think it was like a port of GTA San Andreas. Because I think PlayStation, they had like three original ports of GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas. They were ported to the PlayStation Store and everything. And if you bought those games digitally, they were still available. They would still be available on your account right now. This is obviously before Rockstar or whatever, they released the GTA Definitive Edition, or the defective edition that people like to refer to them as, and everything. Those original versions of the game, you still had those available on your account and everything. You can still download them there, just still download them and stuff. I can still do that with that digital copy of San Andreas that I have. It's still available for me to play on my PS4 and my PS5. So that's why it's important to get those games, before companies or whatever pull stuff like that. And here's a dirty secret. Sony easily could include a disk drive in every PS6. They're choosing not to. This is the thing that's really pissing people off. They're not innovating. They're gatekeeping. They're deciding that your existing library doesn't matter as much as their profit margins, and that to me is the absolute biggest middle finger to loyal fans. Because on that note, it's like, I know people have already said this, but I'm still going to say it. PlayStation's loyal fans and everything, they've literally built this company up and everything, and to see how they're acting right now towards a loyal fan base and everything is just absolutely disgusting and stuff. And they really, really should show more respect to them, because those those customers that they had, they literally built them up, and they can bring them down too. I don't know why Sony has it in their mind that gamers are not really going to do anything. Some of them might not, but a lot of them are, and we have more power than they want to admit. We can really destroy them, man, if we want to, and it really seems like they might if they keep down this road that they're going. All right, the real reason. I'm sorry, getting into the real reason. The real reason is killing the used market. So obviously, let's cut the crap and name the real reason. This has always been about killing the used game market. Sony tried this with the PlayStation 3. Then they tried it again with the PS4. Remember that infamous PS4 reveal where they tried to block used games and then backtracked after a massive backlash? That wasn't a mistake. That was a preview. Now they don't have to ask permission. They don't have to deal with backlash. They just quietly make the console disc-free, and suddenly used games don't exist anymore. You can't sell them. You can't trade them. You can't give them to your little cousin or whoever. Every game you buy stays yours only, in the sense that it's tied to your account forever, until Sony decides otherwise. That's the big thing right there. GameStop is already dying. Independent game stores are closing, and Sony is perfectly happy to watch it burn, because every used game sold is a new game not sold. That's the cold hard truth. And they don't care. They don't care about preservation, and they obviously don't care about collectors. All they care about is recurring revenue, and the PS6 is their final in-game weapon. All right, I'm gonna get to the conclusion. Look, I'm not here to say that the PS6 will be a bad console. It'll, most likely, have great graphics, fast load times, amazing exclusives, if that does happen, or whatever. But we need to stop pretending that this is about progress. This is about control. This is about monopolizing the way that we buy and play games. And if we don't push back now, we're going to wake up in 2030 with an $800 console, or however much it's going to cost, $90 games, no used market, and no choice but to accept it. So, here's what I want you to do. Vote with your wallet. If Sony releases a discless PS6 and you hate it, don't buy it. Wait for the revision, buy the attachment used, make them feel the pressure, because the only language these corporations understand is money. And if you show them physical media matters, they'll listen. They always do. So you can either do that, or you can just say, I'm done, with console gaming or whatever. If both consoles are just going to be, digital only, then I'm just going to go straight to PC, or save that money that I was probably going to spend on the PS6 or the new Xbox or whatever, and use that to upgrading my PC to make it more powerful and everything. But yeah, I want to hear from you. Are you buying a discless PS6, or are you holding out? Drop a comment below. Let's start a real conversation. If you're still gonna stack a PS5 discs collecting dust, let me know what you're going to do with them. Hit that like button if you're team physical. Subscribe if you're tired of corporations telling you what ownership means. And obviously, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Keep your discs safe. They're worth more than you think. Oh, also, one more thing that I want to end on. I suppose I propose a question. If the PS6 comes out and it's $1,000, but if it's completely backwards compatible with PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, and PS5 discs. I mean, you can take any of those discs from any of the past Sony generation or whatever, and you could take the disc, put it in the disc drive, and it'll play it just fine and everything. Would that alone be enough for the PS6 to be worth $1,000, and you'd be willing to buy it? Let me know in the comments.